When you're new to working in the shop, sometimes the different materials like wood, metal, and plastic you think behave the same way, and you try to cut them, or you try to sand them, or you try to finish them, or even glue them in the same way, and it just doesn't turn out very well. Well, each one of those different categories of materials have their own basic properties, and that's what this video is about. I'm going to give you an overview of the different properties of wood, metal, and plastic. Let's get to it. We're going to cover those three different material types in a cut, assemble, and finish fashion. Those cover the three different skill sets you'll need to know to be able to work with these materials. You'll need to know how to cut it. You'll need to know how it goes together, how to assemble it. And then you'll need to know how to finish it. Well, the first one we'll look at is wood. Wood is the one that I probably know the best, and I've worked with it for decades. Whether it's softwoods or hardwoods, they're fairly easy to cut with even hand tools, or you can get power tools, and you can cut them with some sort of predictability and be able to reproduce things really well. They can be worked with both hand tools and power tools, like I said, which can be hand saws, chisels, carving knives, or power tools as in a circular saw or a table saw or a jigsaw or a bandsaw like what I've got over there. There's a lot of different ways you can cut it. And then your mistakes when you make them, will be easy to fix in wood. You can either sand away scratches or irregularities between joint lines and stuff. You can sand that away, or you can even splice in little pieces of wood, or even make those little splices decorative, like a lot of Japanese kind of woodwork will do that. Make art out of the mistake. And so it's real easy and forgiving material to cut with. And when you assemble wood, you've got wood glue. Glue works really well on wood. Just make sure it's, the right type of glue, wood glue or epoxy or different polyurethane glues work very well with wood. And then you have mechanical fasteners like nails, screws, you can bolt it together. So you got a whole lot of different ways you can mechanically fasten wood together. And then there's, the joint itself, like what I just mentioned, the Japanese, they do a lot of joints that are made in such a way where they don't need glue or don't need fasteners. And so it's very flexible and a forgiving medium to work with when you're assembling it. And then for finishing, you can go with just regular sanding. You can go with a paint finish. You can stain it and you can put a clear finish on it. You can even put an epoxy finish on it, which will make it almost waterproof or waterproof. And certain boats are made with epoxy finishes to where they can withstand years on the water. And all those finishes are basically pretty straightforward and easy to replicate for a beginner. So if you're wanting to start with a good beginner material, it's good to start with wood. You can start with fence panels. This is cedar, very cheap, very easy to work with, really a nice looking wood, and very beginner friendly. And then there's pine. We've all seen this in the big box store. And then you can get to different hardwoods. Like this is alder. This is beginning to be one of my favorite woods to work with. It's pretty inexpensive. It's not incredibly hard like an oak, and it's got a really nice, very subtle grain to it. So it's a really nice material to work with and begin to be one of my favorites. So if you're a beginner out there and you're looking for something to start with, it's always good to start with wood, and it'll teach you how to work with, it'll give you subtle skills so you can work with different materials down the line. The next one we'll look at is metal. And metal is probably one of the broadest material types out there. And there's a lot of different ways you can work with it, from casting to jewelry to sheet metal work. There's a whole lot of different ways you can work with this material. So I'll give you kind of a broad overview of this one. For cutting, it's generally harder to cut and to shape, and it often requires specialized tools or machines, and hand tools basically have their limits on how much you can use them. If you're a kid and you're in the shop when you were growing up and you tried to use a hacksaw, it took forever. So generally when you work with metal, you're going to need very specialized machines to cut it. You know, like even a metal cutting bandsaw like what I have behind me, or a mill. I have a 3-axis mill, or a lathe, or welding. You're generally going to need machinery or very specialized tooling to work with it, die grinders, stuff like that. So it's going to be a little bit more of an expense to get working with it. You know, of course, depending on what you're doing. You know, some sheet metal work is pretty cheap. You know, you just need a pair of hand shears. So, but it's generally a harder material to cut and to shape. And to assemble it, it generally requires mechanical fastening, like welding, bolts, screws, rivets, something that takes the two pieces and basically pulls them together. Of course, the welding actually fuses it together, but glue generally doesn't work too well on metal unless you use a very specialized glue, like some sort of epoxy or whatever, and you treat the surface correctly, clean it, and get it where it's oil-free, because generally metal will have some sort of oil on it, like this piece of steel will have residue oil on it, so you want to clean that off. But generally, it's not something that you glue very easily. And then for finishing, it often requires surface prep, sanding. Like if you do auto body work, you're familiar with sanding, or seen it done with, you know, where you have to sand, because the paint has trouble sticking to the surface otherwise. Like this mill finish piece of steel here, you got to scuff that surface or paint will actually flake off easier if you don't. So you got to do some surface prep, clean the surface really good. You either have to plate it or you have to anodize it. If it's aluminum, you can anodize it. And like aluminum doesn't paint very easy unless you anodize the surface and get that surface treatment on there. Anodizing is a chemical layer that the paint will stick to. It's what you see with aluminum where it's colored different colors. That's an anodized finish. So it's usually, finishing is a little bit trickier with metal, and it requires a little bit more preparation. Last is plastic. Plastic is a very broad type of material, just like metal, but probably even more so than metal. There's a lot of different types. There's this, what's called HDPE, high density polyethylene. That's what milk jugs are made out of. There's acrylic, and then there's like this piece of Kydex I have. So there's a lot of different kinds of it. And generally when you cut it, it can be cut with woodworking material or woodworking tools pretty easily, and hand tools or power tools. Like I've cut both the HDPE and this acrylic on my table saw just fine. It cut really well. And I finished the edges on a planer with this, running it through the planer, and it gives it a real nice milled kind of finish. And then I've ran the edges when I cut the acrylic through my joiner to finish the edges to where I can glue them together later. So it cuts pretty good, but it is unforgiving. So you can't sand out a mistake. You can a little bit on acrylic, but generally you can't sand plastic and you can't sand out your mistakes. It can be fragile and unforgiving when you cut it. You gotta be careful. Some plastics are really brittle and you can chip them real bad going through the table saw. So you just have to run a sample through and get used to how it works through those. And heat buildup will generally always melt the plastic. So you gotta be careful about that blade sitting in one spot too much. You know, make sure you keep the saw or whatever you're using moving through the material, and don't stop, because once you stop, that heat will build up and then it'll generally melt that plastic. When you assemble, glues must be specific to the material, and generally the glues for plastic aren't really glues, they're more of a chemical weld. Like if you were to use wood glue or even epoxy on plastic, it will eventually delaminate or pull apart. So when you use a plastic glue, like an acrylic glue, it basically melts that plastic into the other piece. So it gives you what's kind of a chemical weld. It's bonding those pieces of plastic together permanently, almost melting them together. You can use mechanical fasteners with plastic, but you gotta be careful of over tightening or you'll crack it, or you can, deform it real easy. And plastic generally is unforgiving. Once you cut it or deform it, you're not going to get it back to its original shape very easily or at all. And then last, finishing is, you pretty much have very limited finishing options with plastic. It is generally not very paintable, although there are some plastic paints out there that I've seen, but I'm not sure how well they work. Anytime I've ever seen a plastic painted, it will peel pretty quick. It can be dyed. There's certain plastics out there that you can dye them, even with a clothing dye. Had an RC car one time that you could dye the parts different colors, doing it that way. So finishing wise, there's not really many options. You're kind of stuck with the finish that you got on the plastic, like this piece of Kydex. It's got kind of a pebbly finish. So when you work with it, you want it, for the finish that you want, generally you buy the plastic in that finish. There's very few exceptions. You can polish acrylic, and you can even take out some scratches in acrylic. So acrylic's kind of different in that way. It can be sanded very carefully and polished very carefully. So it's kind of the exception. There's other plastics out there, but this is kind of just an overview of them. So whatever material you pick to work with in your shop, just be aware that each material has its own characteristics, and you can't treat, say, plastic like wood because they're totally different materials, and you need to, customize your tools, customize your assembly, and customize your finishes to whatever material you're working with. And in later videos, I'll cover different aspects in deeper detail of these different materials, but this is just kind of an overview. So I hope this clears up materials for you, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you for watching.